Hi and welcome to Best in Tesla. Tesla has just shown us that they will quickly be killing off Waymo and Uber as they can simply not compete on price and scalability. But there are so many facts about Waymo and Uber and Volkswagen and their Mobileye business model and so on that will kill their business model all on their own. But especially when you put all of those facts together, it simply creates an unsustainable business model for anyone using geofenced mapped technology. But Tesla has made all the right chess moves for the last many years, setting themselves up to take the market by storm. So let's check it all out and let's dive right in. So Tesla has expanded their robotaxi area very fast. We have talked about the expansion in Austin and the new huge area in the Bay Area, but Tesla added yet another big area to the robotaxi service area in Austin by adding this huge area down south as well. So it now looks like a big middle finger to everyone else. So since Tesla launched their robotaxi service on the 22nd of June, Tesla has expanded its area Austin every 21 days. And the area Tesla covers is now about 4 times bigger than it was when they started. Let's see if Tesla will expand its area again in Austin within the next 21 days and keep up their insane pace of progress. But if you're wondering what areas might be next, we have of course seen the many new cities that Tesla is opening up jobs for safety test drivers in, but Elon also wrote online, not sure what the status in Illinois is. A pretty good guide is that if Waymo is operating somewhere, the regulation allows robotaxis in that city or state. Tesla will operate there as soon as we reaffirm safety testing in that local and receive a license to operate. So it seems like the cities that Waymos are operating in, we can expect Tesla to start robotaxi in as well. So probably not something Waymo is super happy about, but something that we should thank Waymo for, paving the way for autonomy, because they might not be able to keep up with Tesla's fast expansion and the amount of robotaxi that Tesla can deploy, and not keep up with Tesla's new pricing at about $1 per mile. But Waymo was first, and that always takes a little extra work with regulatories. So we should not forget that Waymo is helping Tesla in that regard and made the first move from Tesla easier. And competition is always good. It makes things better and cheaper for us consumers. But with the dynamic pricing we are seeing right now from Tesla, I think it's pretty easy to see what is happening, and that Waymo and Uber cannot keep up with Tesla if this continues, because what we're seeing right now is that Tesla's average price per mile is about $1, and that $1 includes everything. No extra booking fee or base fare or tipping like there is with the Uber driver. Including everything, Tesla's price is about $1 per mile. I don't think the others can compete with this, and I don't think this is only a short-term thing and then Tesla will raise the prices. I think this is Tesla showing the industry what they plan on doing. And if they want to compete, this is the price level they have to compete at. Something someone like Uber will never be able to do, as we can see just how desperate they are at finding partners that can put robotaxis on their network, because they know their days are numbered if they can't get robotaxis on their networks fast. Don't forget that Uber actually did work on their own robotaxi service for many years through its Advanced Technology Group's ATG starting around 2015. The project aimed to create autonomous vehicles for its ride-hailing platform, with public testing beginning in Pittsburgh in September 2016 using modified vehicles like the Volvo XC90s and the Ford Fusions equipped with Uber's self-driving tech. These tests initially included safety drivers, and by 2017 Uber was experimenting with fully autonomous ride in selected areas, though still with human oversight. This program faced significant challenge, including a fatal accident in March 2018. 2018 in Tampa, Arizona, where the Uber self-driving vehicle struck and killed a pedestrian. This incident led to a suspension of testing. Uber resumed limiting testing later in 2018, but only during daylight hours and at reduced speed, with stricter safety protocols. Ultimately, Uber cancelled its in-house robotaxi development in December 2020, when it sold its ATG division to Aurora Innovation, an automotive vehicle startup, for $400 million. This decision was driven by the high cost, regulatory hurdles, and safety concerns, prompting Uber to shift focus to partnering with external autonomous vehicle companies like Waymo, Motional, and later Lucid and Nuro, and Volkswagen and Mobileye. So they do know that the future is autonomous, and if they can't get that at scale on their network, they will not be part of that future. But the problem with these guys is still the cost. Take Volkswagen, for example, don't really earn money on EVs just yet, but the ID bus that they are using for the robotaxi cost on its own from $60,000 in the US, and then they have Mobileye that has got to get paid for supplying all the self-driving tech, and Moea, owned by Volkswagen themselves, is handling the real-time management, passenger assistance, safety monitoring, integration with the booking app. But the ID Buzz Robotaxi is fitted with 13 cameras, 9 Lidars, and 5 radars. But even though the CEO of Volkswagen's Autonomous Mobility said these use many of the identical sensors found in Volkswagen Group's cars that are manufactured at industrial scale, explaining the very same LiDAR will also be equipped on the upcoming Audis and Porsche vehicles designed to enable eyes-off driving. Yes, but this is kind of misleading, saying that the sensors like LiDAR are manufactured at industrial scale, something I have mentioned before, because in 2024, global automotive LiDAR shipment are estimated to be at around 1.6 million units, with Chinese manufacturers supplying approximately 1.5 million of those, according to Yole Group. This represents a significant increase compared to the previous year, and looking ahead, the market is projected to experience substantial growth, with estimates reaching 34 million units by 2032. This might sound like a lot, but this really shows us that just the LiDAR part of the equation is never going to work out, because as Singer he also pointed out, this is not only for the robotaxis, but this is for the entire automotive industry that uses LiDAR for robotaxis and hand-free driver assist systems and so on. And as you can see, Volkswagen ID buses uses 9 of them. So 1.6 million units would only be enough for not even 180,000 units a year. If Volkswagen got all the LiDAR that was produced in 2024 all for themselves. But that is not just for Volkswagen, or for Waymo, or for BYD. No, this is what the entire automotive industry has to share. So even looking at this insane growth that they are predicting to 2032 of 34 million units, that is only enough for about 3.8 million cars. So Tesla will have more robotaxis on the street by 2032 than all of that by themselves. And the other guys have to share all of that LiDAR with the technology they use today. They have to shift that technology. That fact alone is showing that LiDAR-driven systems has no way of keeping up with the likes of Tesla's system, which is much simpler. But there are more facts that needs to be considered, because for someone like Uber having the ID Bus robotaxis on the street, well, Mobileye will have to earn money on that venture, and Volkswagen have to earn money on that adventure, and Uber have to earn money on that adventure. And Volkswagen don't even earn money selling the ID Bus to customers as it is today. How the hell are they supposed to compete against Tesla that is running the entire network and producing everything themselves and can already show a price of just $1 per mile? So that fact alone will show everyone with a functional brain that they will never be able to compare on price on that fact alone. But there are more facts to be considered, because the technology that the others are using, that Mobileye and Waymo and Nuro, is all relying on geofenced mapping. And as I have been saying for years, It is simply impossible to map the whole world, and not to mention keeping that map up to date. That is not free either. So yet another cost that the competition has that Tesla does not have. Mapping the area and keeping that area up to date. Both cost money. But it's not just me saying that. Like I showed in my news show, Cruise founder was out saying that the technology that Waymo, and also the same technology that his robotaxi company was using in Cruise, will never scale. Just listen to this.
That people create is like Lidar versus cameras.
Yeah.
What I see is really Tesla as a company who kind of pioneered the end-to-end neural network approach to self-driving, which I think is the right technical bet long-term. But they put some constraints on it. They said, hey, engineers, like you can't have the best sensors like LiDARs and radars, and the sensors have to look good when we put them on the car. Oh, and by the way, they have to cost like 1/10 as much as, the guys down the street who are doing this. So they put some crazy constraints on that. So the right like technical vector, but like really being like, held back by the weight of all these constraints that were put on the system. But all of their technical approach from day one seems to have been pointed in the right long-term direction. So that's good. With Waymo, they started off in the DARPA Grand Challenge era of self-driving, which is old school, classical computer vision, classical motion planning. And they built this highly validated, robust system that's now on public roads, and it's great. But they know that it's the wrong technical approach, and they need to move more in the direction of Tesla, of more neural networks.
And it's the wrong technical approach because it's too expensive?
Because it is just intractable to maintain a 3D map of every square inch of the planet and update it in real time, and then expect that every time you go somewhere, the map is still accurate, on one hand. And also probably unrealistic to assume that every car built in the future is going to have these giant spinning KFC buckets on the roof. To Waymo's credit, I think they know this, and they've started moving towards a Tesla-like approach.
Yes.
The challenge is they've got a validated safety-critical system on the road. And the last thing you want to do to a system like that is start changing stuff in it.
Yes.
Because that introduces risk.
So when the people that founded a robotaxi company that was using this technology comes out and say it does not work, I think it's fair to say this just doesn't work. This fact alone has killed LiDAR mapped area before it even truly got off the ground. So that was a lot of single facts that will all on their own destroy companies like Waymo and Uber, as they will simply not be able to compete, especially when we put all of those facts together. It simply creates an unsustainable business model for anyone using this technology. And remember, unlike Tesla, Waymo, Volkswagen, Uber, and everyone else are all using these third-party charging stations and have not made their wireless charging solution, so they have to pay employees to go charge up their cars and pay that charging provider for that charge. All of this Tesla has in-house and have solved to be an autonomous solution. But like we have talked about before, Tesla's Cybercab will destroy more than just Waymo and Uber. It will reshape transportation as we know it, because Tesla already has robotaxis on the street that is charging $1 per mile, as I mentioned. And if you think that will not earn Tesla any meaningful amount of money, well, Søren Basher has done the research and made these nice charts showing that even if Tesla has a utilization rate of the robotaxis are only 30%, which sound absurd, I know. Robotaxi is only driving 30% of the time, but let's go with this extremely conservative number. Well, then a robotaxi will earn Tesla close to $50,000 in revenue a year. And then let's say Tesla will earn something like 30% in profits, and that 70% of that revenue goes to the operation of the robotaxi network. That is still $15,000 in pure profit in year one. So more than what they earn on selling a car. And then the Cybercab will basically be paid off, and then the next 10 to 15 years, the Cybercab will just bring in $15,000 in profit every year. But $1 per mile is what Tesla does now, but Elon is still aiming for something like 30 cents per mile when Cybertruck is fully ramped. But even with just $1 per mile, this will disrupt transportation as we know it. Less and less people are going to want to spend a lot of money up front and every month on owning a car with the risk of expensive repairs and so on. So this will also make the sales of the legacy automakers go down. Because the average cost of owning and operating a car in the US is around 81 cents per mile, according to the Bureau of Transportation Statistics. This figure is based on driving 15,000 miles annually and includes expenses like fuel, maintenance, insurance, depreciation, and other ownership costs. However, the cost per mile can vary significantly based on factors like vehicle type, driving habits, and location, of course. And of course, the mileage you drive. Because I drive close to 25,000 miles a year, so the price per mile can quickly go up. But if you don't have to pay 81 cents per mile anymore for owning your own car and have to pay that insurance and maintenance and parking and so on if you live in the city, even when you're not using the car, I think many people living in the big cities will quickly shift to transport as a service instead of owning a car, as $1 per mile is very close already to be as cheap as owning your own car. But when the Cybercab comes into the picture next year, Tesla will take this to a new level of affordable premium transport the world has never seen before. And none of the competition like Waymo, Mobileye, Uber or whatever will be able to compare on price and scalability. Tesla will have this market for themselves for quite a while. And since no one else has thought production into their design like Tesla has with the Cybercab, that has invented a whole new way of producing cars with the unbox production method, which eventually will be what set Tesla apart in the future, as every other company will solve AI driving itself. But they will not all be good at manufacturing as Tesla is. And just imagine how far ahead Tesla will be then when the others catch up to unbox production method. And Tesla will have robots working in the factory and so much more. And that manufacturing powerhouse that Tesla has become will make sure that Tesla will always be the leader in this race. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.